Before we can even say, I need to make X amount of money, I'm going to do this kind of prospecting, I'm going to get this many new contracts, this many new clients, before we do any of that, we have to think about what does it take to get to those results. Your personal life, right? Because do we just live in business world and mode all the time?
Yes.
Yeah, well, and then what happens is we get sick, right? Our body then forces us to shut down and say, hey, you need to take a break because you've been business mode. So it's hard, right? If anything we've ever tried to do in life, it's hard to do without support and systems and structure. So I want you to be thinking about your business and growing your business and reaching your financial goals, but also then what it takes on the flip side to be able to put that into place from your personal life. So we are definitely going to go over strategies, tactics, and things to kind of organize yourself. And Merrill's he's gonna dig into the numbers, and he's gonna help you put some numbers together and some scheduling together. I wanted to start off today though, really, it's kind of counterintuitive. The name of this was 2020 Business Planning, Get Your Crap Together, essentially. And so my opening statement's probably a little controversial, and I'm going to say your goals don't mean anything. And that comes from some new learning that I've done, right? Every year I read new books and I try to grow as a leader and just as, as personal development. And one of my new favorite books is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it's so good. Like, as I was reviewing my notes this morning, I was telling Kelsey, I'm like, this book is so amazing. So I've read it twice in the past 2 months. So I highly encourage you. It is on Audible. It's really good on Audible. And I don't have an extra copy, so I'm kind of bummed that this is not one of the books that I'm going to be giving away. However, you guys get a little sneak peek. I'm dropping a show today on a book review on Atomic Habits, and so I will be giving away one of these books on my YouTube channel. So if you follow me on social media, I'll post it today on the Big Helper page, and then I'll share that to my personal profile, and we'll be giving away a copy of this book. So you will have an opportunity to win that book as well. But the reason that I say that, your goals don't matter, right? Like, I'm here telling you, we're going to set goals, and then I'm saying, but by the way, your goals don't matter. And the reason for that is the author, he says a statement that I feel will help you recalibrate how you look at goals. So he says, goals are about the results that you want to achieve. And your systems, hi ladies, hello, sorry for late. You're good, we actually just started. Okay. I just was telling them that we're here at a business planning class, and then I'm going to tell them that their goals don't matter. Perfect. Goals don't matter. Your systems matter, right? So he breaks down, what is a goal? A goal is a desired outcome, right? We want to do X by when. So, if you've been following my husband, he's been on an amazing, health transformation this past year, losing a lot of weight. And I've been slowly following him along. So a lot of times I have weight goals. So if we want to lose X amount of pounds, that's our goal, right? Well, he says, be less concerned about your current outcome, be more concerned about your trajectory, right? So again, your goals are about the results that you want to achieve. Systems are about the process that lead to those results. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. So we're just going to touch very lightly today on basically getting your goals set up, and then we're going to help you set that trajectory. So I want to talk about habits before we even go into talking about our goals. Like, before we can even say, I need to make X amount of money, I'm going to do this kind of prospecting, I'm going to get this many new contracts, this many new clients. Before we do any of that, we have to think about, what does it take to get to those results? It's what we call the valley of disappointment. So we set this goal, a desired outcome that we want. We know that we have to take some action. And so we start to take action, and we don't see results immediately. So we get frustrated, and we enter into this valley of disappointment. Now the author, James Clear, in the book Atomic Habits, he gives a really great analogy. So he says, imagine that you're in a really cold room, kind of like this one. It's 25 degrees, and you have an ice cube sitting on the table, and your goal is to melt the ice cube. So the temperature is 25 degrees. Is that ice cube melting? No. We have to do what? Warm it up. We have to heat up the room. So we start to heat up the room, and we get to 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Is the ice cube melted yet? No, so we're frustrated. We're in that valley of disappointment. Then we get up to 31 degrees, and it's still not melting. This is where most people make a critical mistake. They do what? They give up. It's not working. But they've stored up all this energy. Think of all the energy it took to warm that room up from 25 degrees to 31. What happens at 32 degrees?
I think it still stays frozen.
It still stays frozen. So then 33 degrees,
Then
then
it starts melting.
it starts to melt. So we've stored up all this energy. It's called a critical threshold. You are going to find that in your business this year. You're going to put in a lot of energy, a lot of effort. It's going to seem like it's not working. It's going to seem like, why am I doing this? Why am I out here every single day grinding and hustling and doing this? Someone told me, my coach told me, my team leader, my broker, my best friend, somebody told me that I should do this and it works, and I'm doing it and I'm not seeing the results. Just like that ice cube, it hasn't reached critical threshold. And then this is what happens. All of a sudden you hit critical threshold and you're an overnight success. Darren Hardy has one of my favorite quotes. He says, learning without execution is useless. So please don't leave this intimate training without something that you're going to execute on, right? So I love that you guys are taking notes. Write down something that you're going to take action on. So I'm going to leave you with 2 quotes to hopefully help spur thoughts on your habits right now and how you can change your systems to serve you better to help you reach your goals. So the one quote, he says, anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes a difference. I promise you that you are going to get bored. Do you ever think that Michael Phelps got bored in the pool?
Another lap.
Absolutely, right? How many incredible athletes, how many incredible, whatever talent it is, do you think they ever get bored practicing that same swing over and over? Practicing running laps, right? Like there's things that we do that are going to get boring. It's going to get boring. It doesn't matter, because in that boring moment is when we're defining our skill and we are separating ourselves from the pack. Like that, the fact that you guys are here towards the end of December when a lot of people are on what? They're on like cruise control, right? They're not working. They're just relaxing. Though the market's slow, whatever. Like, trust me, people still need to buy and sell houses. People are still out there. You guys are here, so you're making that right choice. The other quote I love, he says, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. So every habit starts out as a seed. The difference is that when we take that decision, right? So a habit is a tiny decision. But when we repeat it over time, we're feeding it, right? What happens when you feed a seed? It grows. So a tiny decision, the size of a mustard seed, a habit, repeated again and again, starts to grow. Then all of a sudden, you've got roots that are entrenched and you've got massive branches. At that point in time, how do we remove that bad habit? It is hard, right? It's very, very hard. Or if it's a good habit, right? So I just want you to think, at the root of every habit, it's just a tiny decision. One small change. Do I get a Diet Coke in the morning or do I not? Do I eat the second, we do have some water now. Do I eat that second piece of pie or do I not?
I saw a statistic recently that said something like, 80% of all New Year's resolutions fail within the first 2 weeks. I didn't write that down, so paraphrasing, those numbers might not be exact, but the vast majority
Sounds
of
about
New Year's
right.
resolutions, yeah, I know, right? And so so in a few minutes, we're going to start working on your goals and your business plan and how you're going to get there for 2020. And by the way, the reason that we're doing this now is because, I know a lot of people will start teaching this type of class in January. Plan your business for 2020. Well, you're already behind if you're not starting until 2020 because
start now.
Because especially in real estate, maybe if you were in some sort of, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but you sell something that you can go out today and cash flow on it, right? But no matter what you do today, no matter how awesome you are, you could be the world's best real estate agent. You're not getting paid today, right? I mean, so you got to start planting the seeds, and some of the work that you start doing now, you might not even get paid on for 3 years. I mean, I've had multiple clients, that I don't get paid on for a very, very long time. And so you have to start planning way ahead in real estate. Matter of fact, we do our team's business planning in October for the year. This is a little late even, but that's okay. You're not up a creek without a paddle. We can still fix it. So what I want us to all look at right now is I want you to look at what you did in 2019. Because in a minute we're going to start talking about your goals and what you're going to achieve in 2020. But I've seen a lot of agents who sold 2 homes this year and then they set a goal to sell 50 homes next year. And it's just not realistic. I'm sure someone has done it, but I want, we're gonna increase, I want everyone to do better. But, if you've maybe a different example, if your current average sales price is $200,000 and you want to increase your average sales price next year to $2 million, probably not realistic to do that all at once unless you have a very unique circumstance. So what I want you to do, you have a couple papers in your folder, just on the back of one of them, and you might not know, I don't know, but pick one of the papers, and on the back of one of them, I want you to write down what you did this year.
By lead source, if you can.
Yes, so how many homes did you sell this year? What was your average sales price? If you don't know, try to estimate it and start tracking your numbers.
Where did your
and where did the business come from? Okay, so if you sold 10 homes and 2 of them came from open houses, 5 of them were repeat clients, and 3 of them were referrals. Something like that. I'd like to kind of get a sense for how many homes you sold, where your business came from, what your average sales price was. Pretty soon you're going to get buyers, right? And you're spending 8 hours a week out showing them homes, and you're going to get listing appointments, and that's going to take an hour of preparation and an hour of driving and an hour of presenting, and
or signings, right?
Unless you want to work 90, signings, pretty soon you're going to be out on signings. You're not going to have time to prospect for 30 hours a week.
So now we're doing section 3? Are we moving down there yet?
What's that?
To section 3?
Yeah, we're not in section 3 yet. I want to make sure everyone has their total weekly contacts number first. You're good on your weekly contacts number? Okay, now let's move to section 3. The first is that you're going to take your total weekly contacts and you're going to multiply it by how many weeks you plan on working in 2020. You're going to take time off. We know you're not going to work the week of Christmas. But don't lie to yourself. Maybe you are. Maybe you're better than I am. I know I'm not going to work the week of Christmas, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to make all those contacts the week of Christmas, right? So I think most agents probably work somewhere in the neighborhood of 40. So there's 52 weeks a year. I think most agents are taking between 4 and 6 weeks a year off. So let's call that. Makes you feel bad for the people who can only get 2 weeks of vacation a year,
Right.
So 48 weeks, 46 weeks, something like that.
So I'm going to times this contact by 46.
Total contacts by 46. If that's how many if you plan on working 46 weeks, you'll take your total weekly contacts times 46. And that's how many contacts you need for the whole year. So it should be a big number. Now, for our team, we have to make an average of 120 contacts per sale. But again, that's because we do a lot of internet leads, we do a lot of, cold calling and open houses and prospecting. You have to talk to a lot of people to get one sale. If the majority of your business is coming from repeat and referral and that kind of thing, you're probably closer to 40 people per sale. So
you can adjust that.
You can adjust that number if you think your number is way better than that. Or if you've just got awesome ninja skills and you're really, really amazing at converting, then maybe you don't need 120. Maybe even if you have the same exact people as I do, but you're just better at it, maybe you only need 100 people per sale. But basically, you're going to take your yearly contacts goal and you're going to divide that by, for our case, dividing it by 120 contacts per sale. If you decide you only need 100 contacts per sale, then take your yearly contacts and divide it by 100. And that should tell you what your yearly sales goal is going to be. So do you guys now know what your yearly sales goal is? All right.
The number of units.
Now that's your units. That's how many homes you're going to sell based on what you said you're committed to in your prospecting. You can go back and adjust these numbers later, but let's get through the math for now. All right. Now I want you to multiply that by first of all, do you know what your average sales price was this year? Our team's average sales price was $310,000. We sell quite a bit in Santan Valley and just sold a couple in Buckeye. But it might be higher, it might be lower, but it should go up, right? Average sales prices are going to go up at least 5% next year. So we were at 310. I'm predicting our average sales price next year will be 325 because that's a 5% increase. That's what's nice about this market we've been working in. You should get an automatic 5% raise every year, even if you don't do more.
So stockpile cash for when it's not so great.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you've taken your units goal. Let's say that it ended up being 10, and let's say that your units goal, your total number of homes ended up being 10, and you're going to multiply that by what you think your average sales price is going to be, or if you know what your average sales price was this year, add 5%. Because I personally think 5% is conservative. I don't know if you guys if you don't watch, please start watching my Monday morning Market Madness show. I put it out every Monday. The total number of homes available for sale right now is insanely low. Only 13,600 active listings in our entire MLS right now. The month supply of inventory has been below 2, and the crazy part about that is usually in December, over the last couple of years, every year the month supply of inventory goes up to like 4 because very few homes sell this time of year. Well, what we're seeing right now is still an insanely high amount of homes are selling and no one is listing. There's just nothing available for sale, and we're in the slow season. So come on December 31st, there's always, in the past couple of years anyway, there's usually around 1,000 listings expire. I don't know, agents who are writing their listing agreements in October, September, or July, they just said, December 31st sounds like a nice round date, and that's what they put on their listing agreement, and then we have hundreds of listings expire on December 31st every year. So combine the fact that homes are selling a lot right now with the fact that probably around 1,000 homes are going to come off the market. We're going to be heading into the busy season with somewhere only around 12,000 active listings. And consider that in May and June, typically in those months, around 9,000 to 10,000 homes sell each month. We'll be down to close to only 1 month's supply. So Zillow and a lot of the economists, analysts and things I've been seeing are predicting a 5% increase. I think that it will be closer to 8 to 10%.
Increase in the house price?
Yeah, well, and it depends on your price range too. Like again, we mainly work the lower end, 310,000. If your average sales price is $1 million, it's probably going to stay flat. You're probably not going to have a big change in your average sales price. All right. So you now know what your sales volume is going to be. Now you're going to multiply your sales volume by your average commission. Your average commission is probably not 3%, because you probably sell some homes that are only paying a 2.5% co-broke. You probably take some, I don't know, maybe you've done some transactions where you did multiple transactions with the same client. They were selling a home and buying a home, so you did it for them for 2.5%, that kind of thing. So for us, our team, we average 2.8%. I think 2.75 is a nice conservative number to use. So you're gonna take your total sales volume, let's say that it was 3 million, and times that by 0.0275, and that will give you your gross commission. Are you happy with your commission goal? Yeah? Okay. Okay.
It's better
So
than what
we-
I put on my Tom Ferry goals.
All right. So you don't need to
It's
go back.
interesting working it backwards, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you will
Tom
always
Ferry
start
works it
with-
opposite way,
Yeah.
and I like doing it
But
this
then
way.
doing it this way, it's like, well, yeah, I'm committed to 1 hour here, 1 hour here, 1 hour here.
Yeah.
And it adds up for me.
Potentially, this is
Mhm.
what I could get.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again.
I think the key really is consistency. Oftentimes we say we're committed to doing things, and then we get busy, and then we stop doing it, and then we get 8 homes under contract and we close them all, and then we have nothing. That's happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So
Even though that's the crazy part, right? Like, we know the roller coaster of business,
but it's
and
still
yet
hard to avoid.
it's still, if, again, what he talks about, amateurs let the schedule get in the way, right? And that's what we do. We're like, we get busy and we don't do the things that we know that work, that got us there in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want you to subtract any broker fees. You're on Adam's team, so like team splits, insurance, not advertising expenses. Yeah, we're gonna subtract that on the next one. This is more like, broker.
Professional,
What's that?
legal professional.
Legal and professional fees. So like your MLS.
Licensing.
What is it called now? WeMar.
Yeah, oh no,
Oh, yeah, because they merged.
we serve.
We Serve. Yeah, We Serve. Sevrar changed their name. Subtract, those types of fees. So if you know that you have to pay $50 in E&O insurance on every transaction, and you're planning on selling 10 homes, well, that's $500 in E&O insurance, right? So you subtract your 500 E&O. If you pay a 10% split on every transaction, or if you're on a cap like we are, you know you're going to pay $16,000. Yeah. Oh, if you hire a transaction coordinator and you pay them $300 per transaction to manage your transaction, like subtract all that stuff, figure out what that's going to be.
I highly recommend that you get an accountability partner, right? So if you're on a team,
Yeah, I have that access.
Amanda has a coach, right? Like, get an accountability partner. We will do more for other people than we will for ourselves, right? Like, we absolutely will. It's true. We don't want to let other people down, but also it's the reckoning. It's the having to show up to your accountability partner and say, okay, I know I said I was going to do this, and either
horrible.
you did it or you didn't. And I will tell you that I might show up once not having done it, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to show up 2-3 times to an accountability partner and because that would just feel horrible, right? You'd feel like, what am I even doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So accountability partners are fantastic, coaches, teammates, those type of things. But figure out, what is your accountability plan for 2020? And what is your built-in reckoning of your numbers? That should also be in your calendar. Like, I review my numbers every Sunday when I plan the next week, or every Friday when I plan the next week. I review my numbers. This is what I said I was going to do, and this is what I did, right? Because then we're going to see if we're improving or if we're not. Just like that ice cube. Are we raising the temperature of the room to melt the ice cube? And we've just built up all of this, this momentum, and then we stop doing it,
Right.
right? So we really appreciate you guys coming to our class today. I know it was small and intimate, which is sometimes good. So we can take any questions that you guys want. We're